Yes, sir.
We are live, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Dr. Saab, we are starting now, huh?
Okay.
Okay. मेरे ख्याल से एम्बेसडर साहब की तरफ से कोई आया था, वापस चले गए. Anyhow, you will join. We are starting now. Assalamu alaikum. This is Saeed Asif Zaman from Alif Technologies. Welcome to the Alif Technology e-learning series. And this program is webinar has been co-hosted with the collaboration of Pakistan Business Council Abu Dhabi. We welcome you to this webinar, Effect of Emerging Technologies on Financial Sectors. Technology trends are influencing the financial and business sectors. Let's hear from the financial gurus about the emerging technology that are disrupting sectors and how it is disrupting. FinTech basically is the combination of word of finance and technology. That's why it's FinTech. With emerging technology in this industry, it has been easier for the user to make real-time payments, transparent insurance advisory, quick loan disbursement, peer-to-peer lending, and so many other services. Here we are in collaboration with Pakistan Business Council Abu Dhabi, which is promoting the development of trade, commerce, and investment between UAE and Pakistan, facilitating the Pakistan businessmen and women in developing their businesses in UAE and helping them out all the government formalities and procedures. And it is helping Pakistanis invest back in Pakistan. Co-host and is Dr. Kaisar Anis, who doesn't require any kind of introduction. Dr. Kaisar Anis, for the last, I think, how many years, Dr.? 45 years he has been, in this profession, and he is the managing director and partner of Elliott Hadi Auditing and Consulting firm, and he's the president for Pakistan Business Council Abu Dhabi, which is promoting businesses in helping Pakistani businesses, especially in Abu Dhabi, to do business and to run business and to help them. And he's the founder member of Pakistan Business Council also. And he has been the founder for Indus Hospital in philanthropic work. He has been doing so many philanthropic work, and he has been connected to so many NGOs and organizations. He has also served as the vice chairman of Pakistan Institute of Science and Technology and Economics under the famous Dr. Abdul Qadir Khan. To you, Dr. Saab.
Assalamualaikum, everyone. Thank you very much, Asif, for introduction. We all, as a team member, I should thank first to Mr. Asif and Alif Technology for collaborating and on this very, very important subject. On that account, Pakistan Business Professional Council, I will again introduce, is also a business and professional. It's a strong organization there for last 2004, and since then we are working together with the government of United Arab Emirates and also to the leading corporate body in UAE and in Pakistan. You all know that we closely work with State Bank of Pakistan, Pakistan Stock Exchange, Federation of Chamber, and we are objective to sign SEPA, and I would like to invite all the professionals to work together to promote more Pakistan. Well, the subject is so important. It is like when you say emerging technology on financial sector, I just had a discussion with Mr. Asif that, mashallah, you are always taking lead in technology so that it go on the YouTube and social media, they can be prepared for. The organization these days, if they do not keep pace with the technology, so that organization certainly go behind and the competitor take the lead. So we always say that there should be, like we do from financial world, that you do the budgeting, same way every quarter you should review where you stand for technology and how much you can take the benefit of this. Because when you say technology is providing knowledge, which is written in every day past, there's a new thing is coming up. and which impact give to life, to give the society, to give the environment, industry, financial sector, agriculture, name anything. Every person is affected, and every government department and every business has been affected. So we all have to be ready. We have to plan every time. How can we get benefit from technology? I really appreciate Mr. Asif for bringing like Mr. Ashfaq Ullah Saab, a learned guy, great friend of mine, working for tax, working for many organizations. Certainly we will listen him, and I'm sure at the end of the day of this webinar, everyone will be benefit and get the guidance. Same is like Mr. Riaz Saab, which is again, Mr. Riaz Saab is from the State Bank of Pakistan, whom we are working closely for Roshan Digital Account. I'm sure we will listen to him and we get a lot of benefit out of that. Then Madam Khurshid Kotwal, everyone knows her. She's the leader in the leading society. We will listen to her also. She's presenting ICAP. ICAP is the main body with maybe 100,000 members. Soon we'll achieve that. Then Muniza Bhatt for KPMG, I'm sure with all his professional background, we will be benefited from that account. These are all our guests. And then the speakers are Muhammad Shoaib Memon Saab, Mr. Ashfaq Bataia Saab, Himayun Saab, Asad Abbas Saab, and Ashad. So what a team you have assembled, Asif Saab. Really, I really thank, and I want to applaud him for doing such a great event for this. Please. For that, from there, I will take that those who will be listening, we all will be benefited, and our doors are, the Pakistan Business Professional Council doors are always open to work together. I will just add that we have an event coming on 22nd from the State Bank of Pakistan Roshan Digital Account. And I would all to join and circulate, to send the invitation. Pakistan Business Professional Council did a great work in developing the bank account. Now it's a challenge situation Pakistan having. We have to guide the depositor how in this great moment, how you can act that way. Again, I thank you everyone and looking forward to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you very much. I will invite our chief guest, Ambassador of Pakistan, and he doesn't require any kind of. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. First of all, thank you for so much to you and to Dr. Kaisar for organizing this important issue that is very important to Pakistan. As I told you right now that I am traveling and I am joining this seminar through sitting in my car while traveling from Milan back to Abu Dhabi. So, because technologies is the future. Basically, a lot of people ask me that how can Pakistan really jumpstart its exports and economy? And technology is one sector where we have a lot of talent within the country. What is more important is that we have to create a number of graduates who can, sitting from their home or their offices in Pakistan, can join the global economy. This is something very fundamental. So it is a great initiative, and I'm very happy to be part of it. And I'm looking forward that, in fact, in most of my interactions within UAE, I've met the Minister for Foreign Trade, Mr. Zayudi, and I've met already two chambers. I've met the Abu Dhabi chamber, the Sharjah chamber, and I will be meeting the Ajman chamber next week. And that's what I have also suggested, that our talent in IT technology has to be has to be shared widely, and it would be a major reason for increasing our exports, because in fact 2 years ago Pakistan had almost $3 billion worth of IT exports, and a lot of new Pakistani startups have made their mark in the global economy. So that's one thing that would be very important for us to make significant inroads. For instance, there are a lot of companies like Mubadala. They're also hunting for global talent, because one thing that UE has in surplus, they have a lot of surplus exchange, which are they're willing to invest in different projects across the world. And Pakistan could be a great market to tap that resource and to use that talent to make its mark globally. So these were some of my opening remarks. I wish I could be with you for a longer time, but as you know, that I have just joined this mission and I have a lot of engagements here. So I'll be with you in the next 20, 30 minutes, but then I have to be somewhere else. Thank you so much for organizing this very important webinar.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Saab, for your generosity, or you take out your time, even you are traveling or you are on the way. To you, Dr. Farooq, please.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and hello everyone. I am Dr. Farooq Habib, your moderator for this session, and it is a very much pleasure for me to be here with all the learned and respected speakers. And I really feel honored to introduce our today's guests and speakers. Definitely, I think that it's a very good force, like Dr. Anis, Kaisar Anis, and also our His Excellency, our ambassadors have also indicated that it's a very good panel today. And I think that I am keenly looking forward to a productive and a very lively session over here. So just to give you a very quick brief of our agenda today. So we are going to go through our guests first, and then our speakers, and after that there will be, if times allows us, then we will have a question and answer session as well in the end. So if you have any questions, so we have the section over here of Q&A, so you can post a question. And before posting a question, please try to be as brief as possible, number one. And if you have a specific question towards a speaker or a guest, so please mention their name as well. Without further ado, so let me just introduce our next guest. This is Mr. Ashfaq Tola.
Ashfaq bhai, I think he's not there. You can start. Let me check with him, and then you can start with Ms. Khurshid.
Okay, he was here, by the way, but let me just.
He's there, then if he's there, it's okay, fine. Let's see.
Okay, let me just switch to our next speaker, and if Mr. Tola comes in, then definitely we will give him a slot over there after that. So let me switch to our next speaker, which is Ms. Khurshid Kotwal. She is double qualified as a fellow chartered accountant, having. Sorry.
Hello.
What he's saying that Mr. Riaz, I think before that, I think that's what it meant.
Okay, so I think that our next speaker is Ms. Khurshid Kotwal. She is a double qualified as a fellow chartered accountant, having completed her articles training from PwC. She is also a fellow corporate secretary. She currently holds a very huge portfolio and has over 30 years of unique and varied experience of multinational and local corporates as a business leader. Khurshid is also involved in a number of voluntary services and also serves on the board of various trusts to serve the community. at large on a pro bono basis. In 2009, Khurshid founded a management consultancy called Asman International and Afaza FZ LLC, providing advisory services to a wide range of local and international clients. So it is such an honor to have Khurshid today for us as a speaker, as a guest. So please welcome Ms. Khurshid. Over to you.
Thank you, Farooq, and thank you, Asif, for organizing this event. I think it's my privilege to speak to our friends and colleagues based in the UAE. And I will just share a presentation so that, I can talk a bit more about the digital learnings that we are doing in Pakistan via the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan. I think I don't have this screen share or something like that. So, could you otherwise?
You are co-host. You can make the screen share.
Acha. Okay, so I'm somehow, because there's sometimes some problem with my Apple as well. So I'm just, I'm not able to actually.
Ms. Khurshid, if you look at the lower panel, so you must have.
No, I know, I do, but sometimes my Apple creates a problem.
Okay.
So I'm, okay, doesn't matter. What I'll do is I'll just talk about it. I had sent the presentation also.
Share this. I can share your presentation.
Yeah,
no?
so do that. In the meanwhile, I can talk about. So in Pakistan, from the Institute of Chartered Accountants in 2017, we put up a digital board, and its key objectives being that we want to enhance digital learnings in Pakistan, like, for the finance professionals, for the people in terms of knowledge building, because we believe that is the very future, and that is where all the skill enhancement is required. And I'm very grateful that you all are arranging these sort of discussions to build, to give in more knowledge on the digital side and giving it so much focus. Yes, can we go on to the next slide? So briefly, if I can highlight some of our initiatives. So what we have done basically is we have introduced a data analytics program, and this is a very well sought after program, and we get a lot of participants from even the UAE, the Middle East, etc. In fact, so I'll talk more about it in my next slide. So, and then what we are doing is we are also building learnings through industry best practices as well. So, we're sharing how decision making, etc. is done, and how data analytics can really help in the improved decision making, help companies to grow faster and larger. The other thing that we are doing is, see, our vision is that we want accountants of the 21st century that are poised to be digital auditors or digital accountants. So for our students, for example, we are now providing SAP learnings free. So anybody that has qualified as a CA inter, basically we call it CAF, then from the last batch, we have given them free access to the learning management system for SAP, and we are guiding them how to at least understand how an ERP works. Like, this will really give an edge to our accountants, because they will have a good understanding of the ERP. Like, the other thing what we felt is very important are the digital auditors or the technology auditors. So, for example, today around the world, so there are very few, or I would say hardly any organizations that have this kind of a certification. One example would be the CISA qualification, so we have something like the CISA qualification, but it is more focused for finance professional, for auditors or people with an auditing background and having some sort of an understanding on accounting and finance. And the other thing that I would say this is more in terms of the brainstorming, is that we're looking at new avenues of employability. One does realize that in the future, the jobs are going to look very different, or, profiles are going to be different, the requirements are going to be different. Plus, we believe that Pakistan has a lot of talent, and a lot of work can be exported out of Pakistan as well, or the skill set or the knowledge that is there. So we are building these sort of unique knowledge skill sets, which will be very few and rare around the world as well. So the idea is really that this should open a lot more avenues for employability. There are other plans as well, that we want to also do some research and showcase the good digital technologies in the field of finance and accounting, etc. So we are working on a plan on that. And over and above, of course, we have seminars and webinars on emerging technologies, etc. So those are the kind of ongoing learnings we have, to build knowledge and awareness, for example, on artificial intelligence, etc. Yeah, can I have the next page, please? So this is just a highlight. As we all know that now, data is being generated in abundance. So there's 2.5 quintillions of data that is being generated. And, data is now getting so precious that it is more precious than water. It is more precious than oil. And one has to actually understand and learn how to actually use this data, which is very important. And this is the kind of knowledge that we are building. And this is what we would like to see our future accountants also go towards that direction. Yeah, can I have the next slide? Thank you. So basically, again, on the data skills, it's one of your top skills to acquire. And I would urge everyone to really build this kind of knowledge, because it's going to help you in whatever area that you are, whether it is in fintech, whether you are an auditor, accountant, you're working in the business. This is really the future, So we are now, like I said, because today more information is required in terms of presenting, or, more on the futuristic trends, rather than we as accountants who have been doing typical auditing work. Yeah, I'll just quickly, okay, my time is up. So I'll just go on to the next slide quickly. And yeah, I think what I'll only say one word in that is that, I think Excel is getting outdated, and Power BI is something that everybody should be building their skill sets. And this is what we are training. Yeah. Furthermore, basically, next slide, please. So these are our data analytics programs that we are running, and we have a good participation, and it's a 5-month-long program. The important thing now for finance professionals is also to learn computer programming skills, so Python, etc. Yes, you can move on, is what we are teaching and highlighting and making the participants learn, because these are the kind of languages the finance professionals need to learn and be able to use for their decision-making tools. Yes, please carry on. So this is, yeah, please go on to the next slide. So again, like I said, data analytics is used in every area, whether you are an auditor or an accountant. Yes, keep on moving and just go on to our last slide, where I just, this one is fine. So we are building, no, just go one before. Yeah. So we are building this new program, like I said, where we are building our accountants, or want our to build the expertise in Pakistan as the digital auditors. So Anybody can attend these programs. We'll have them online as well as in person, which we are building with technical experts. And it's a long drawn thing in the sense that, it's taking us a lot of time because we are sitting with the experts discussing and a whole team is working on it. Yeah, with that, I'll close my presentation. So thank you very much. And if there are any questions, I'm happy to take them.
Thank you so much, Ms. Khurshid. And it's a lovely presentation. And I didn't want to end it first. I wanted to basically go through every slides, but unfortunately, we have a very limited time. So, but thank you so much. I think that we might have some time in the Q&A session. So without further ado, let me introduce our next guest speaker, which is Mr. Riaz Shonara. He is a fellow chartered accountant from Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan. He is holding the position of Managing Director of National Institute of Banking and Finance, a subsidiary of the Central Bank of the country, State Bank of Pakistan. NIBAF is a leading institute for the training of central and commercial bankers, micro and rural finance providers, and management professionals of the country. It has extensive capabilities and expertise to design, develop, deliver, and manage different types of trainings, programs, workshops, and seminars in subjects relevant to economics, banking, finance, and management. Mr. Riaz is also holding the position of Director of Finance for State Bank of Pakistan for the last 15 years plus. So I think that this is a very magnificent profile, and then we are excited to hear from Mr. Riaz. Over to you.
And I just want to add that he's the very important person currently in scenario of Pakistan economy.
Okay, perfect. Over to you.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you very much, Farooq, and thank you very much, Asif. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum and good evening to all. So I think it's a very good topic chosen for emerging technologies in the banking on the financial sector. I'll just talk a little bit from the regulator perspective because a lot of things are changing. You see, there was a time in which we were talking about a brick and mortar banks in which you had to visit the branch. Initially, I think a lot of things changed in payment. First, the real-time gross settlement changed the way payments are done. And then actually the digital payments were kicked off. And now the world is changing with the digital banks. So basically, we are talking about a bank which is more IT related. You don't have actually a brick and mortar at all. And then you are dealing or doing financial transactions through that. So that evolves and that changes the whole scenario. So this is not something like, a little bit up. It's a completely different, challenging, and there are a lot of challenges coming in, and hopefully it will come in Pakistan as well. So this is something which is going on. One of the challenges with the regulators are innovation is always picking up much more faster than what the technology is. So to keep a pace, a lot of central banks have now started things like sandboxing, allowing the innovative companies to come in, the technology companies to come in, and they closely monitor it. They give some restrictions, like in our case, we've restricted them so far as depositors' balance is concerned, but allowed them some other avenues, obviously, for the purpose so that we can manage and we can see and then make regulation accordingly. Because if we don't regulate, then there are a lot of chances that they will go into unregulated sector. And if they go into unregulated sector, then to protect the the individuals who are actually using those services is becoming difficult. Now with the fintechs coming in, the interfaces, the APIs which come in, the programming interfaces, that actually changes the whole scenario. So these interfaces is changing and will change a lot. A lot of individuals are actually getting access to things like, connecting it with real estate, connecting it with a vehicle, with so many other areas so that they can work with. They are connecting with micro lending. So this financial inclusion can also go up. So, an informal sector can get connected to the formal sector and then work together. So these are changing times in which a lot is changing. There was a time in which we were talking about a lot of time which used to take in opening an account. Nowadays, a lot of banks are offering account opening online, which can be done in few minutes. So nowadays, a lot of digital data is available online as well, which you can actually verify and access and then do it. A lot of sharing has been done of information and data as well. In terms of data science, data analytics, use of fintechs like processes. So banks have now started using lots of other technologies for the purpose of consumer lending, for the purpose of even in internal audit, they're using AI and robotics to actually verify continuous auditing techniques. So this is something which keeps it going. The chatbots is very common nowadays. So these are a few features which the banks are commonly using now, and they're using technology so that they can keep update. And hopefully it's a good time, an exciting time coming forward. Thank you very much again, Farooq and Asif, for inviting me. And hopefully it will be, I'm sure that they are very good speakers which will talk and enrich these things. And hopefully we'll be in touch in the Q&A session. Thank you very much.
Okay, Jazakallah khairan. Thank you so much, Mr. Riaz, and you were exactly on time. So thank you so much also for saving me putting up queue on you.
State Bank of Pakistan is always on time.
Okay, good, nice, mashallah. So this was Mr. Chunara, and I think that we would be looking forward to hear some more thoughts from him in the Q&A session. So let me introduce our next guest, which is Muniza Usman Butt. She's a star in the auditing field. She's a partner with KPMG Pakistan, one of the world's largest audit and consultancy organization. She was the first ever woman to become a partner in one of Pakistan's main 4 accounting companies. She told Images that chartered accountancy had been predominantly a male-dominated sector, and that she used to stand out like a sore thumb in team and boardroom settings. She is elected member of Southern Regional Committee of ICAP. According to Runway Pakistan, Muniza is one of the top 5 women in Pakistan who have accomplished quite a lot and have inspired many others to do so. She has received many awards as well. So with that, we would like to basically hear from Muniza.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. A very good evening to you, and thank you, Farooq, for that introduction. I'm definitely floored listening to all that. So, without any further ado, I'd like to first tell everybody how it's a pleasure for me to be on this forum speaking about this topic, which is so prevalent and so relevant in current times. And that's why when my friend Asif, he's also my batchmate, we've studied together in the same classroom when we were doing chartered accountancy. So that's why when he approached me, it was very difficult to say no. And whoever knows Asif, I think is pretty sure they know that you cannot give Asif no as an answer. So here I am in front of you at a very short notice. And the topic that he asked me to cover today as a guest is about the role of auditors and accountants, basically, in these emerging technologies. So, I feel that technology disruptions over the last few years, in fact, decades, have altered the way we communicate and we make purchases and do business. Emerging technologies are changing the financial reporting environment as well. For example, artificial intelligence, robotic processing, automation, and blockchain are changing the way business gets done. And auditors are also not lagging behind. They are leading by transforming their own processes as well. In this evolving environment, it is important that auditors, as well as the audit committees, I believe, have a strong grasp of the roles and responsibilities that they have on themselves. So with emerging technologies, it's less likely that auditors will design traditional substantive tests that would provide sufficient appropriate audit evidence, which responds to the identified assertion level risks. And hence greater focus will be on the internal control over financial reporting. We would also use, tools like data analytics, which will play a constructive role in sampling methodologies for different types of audits, especially the financial services audit, I believe. Now, coming to the different types of emerging technologies, I'd like to touch upon blockchain first, which I believe has evolved far beyond Bitcoin and is being tested in a broad range of business as well as financial applications. However, it is still emerging and has not yet been proven at enterprise scale. So many accounting firms, I believe, have undertaken blockchain initiatives to further understand the implications of this technology. It is important for the audit profession to stay abreast of all these developments arising in this regard, especially so because I believe a lot of investment has been made in blockchain methodology in the financial services sector to provide ease of making payments. And it's not only the financial services, basically, I believe it's also in the consumer and industrial markets where whole supply chain management is being like, they're spending money on how blockchain can help them in their reporting and as well as their record keeping. And also life sciences for that matter, because I believe they're trying to integrate all medical records. Now, coming to another emerging technology, I would say is the artificial intelligence, where many routine tasks of the past are being automated. Improved search capabilities facilitated by the artificial intelligence have revolutionized the way auditors store and locate information. And, with colleagues being able to collaborate in real time while they're on the same audit, they can audit the same client sitting at different locations, editing the same file to avoid confusion and ensure everyone is on the same page. Hence, less time, I believe, is wasted in searching for the latest version of a document or chasing colleagues to locate missing files. So this is the way I believe, like how artificial intelligence has really helped in the audit procedures from the time that when I started, when my articleship, I remember everything was very physical, but we've moved to a paperless environment now, and we all have those audit softwares which cater to all these companies which have these technology, ledgers, and they have these online bookkeeping reports and all. So, I would also want to build upon this to the debate that basically I think most people touch upon, where they feel that artificial intelligence will replace the roles of accountants and auditors. Well, I believe the current levels of sophistication are not capable to do so. And I don't see that in the foreseeable future as well. Because what I feel is that human intellect will always be an integral aspect of the role for evaluating and understanding data or offering consulting services. So artificial intelligence will implement established practices by helping to refine day-to-day life in the role. No doubt, I think artificial intelligence is critical to the future of audit industry, but rather than, I believe, threatening the existence of the auditing profession, its implementation provides an opportunity to improve processes and working standards. So I believe in the end, it would just lead to better quality service as auditors, as we will have more time to devote to the practical solutions that we can provide to our clients. So this is from my side, and I'm open to questions that anybody would have in this regard.
Thank you so much, Muniza. Very, very focused and very, very useful thoughts basically you have shared. And I think that we are looking forward to our Q&A session then. And
Sure.
Now we will start our speakers session. And there is a request from our respected speaker, Asad Abbas. I hope that other speakers would not mind that we have to basically give him priority for reasons that he has some other commitments. So Asad Abbas Khan is a fellow member of ICAP, member of CIMA UK, CPA Canada, and CIA USA. He's holding position of chairman of Canadian chapter of ICAP members. He's working as the director, strategic project director, director strategic projects, director strategic project at Conestoga College, Ontario, Canada, where he led the development of a comprehensive automation and finance strategy for the college with a focus on RPA in consultation with the higher management and lead and support the creation, monitoring, support, and maintenance of RPA workflows. Before that, we have worked at, before that, Asad has worked at different geographical locations, including Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Pakistan at various financial positions. Sorry for my stuttering. And then I think that over to you, Asad Abbas.
And then, very nice weather it is showing in Canada. So we will give priority to you. Asad.
Good morning.
He's the chairman of Canadian chapter also for ICAP. Just an addition.
Yep. First of all, Assalamu alaikum. Good morning from Canada, everyone. It was getting colder now. It's around -6 now. So I thought I'll share a relevant background for all of you. First of all, secondly, I'd like to thank Mr. Aziz Zaman and Lift Technologies for having me here. It's a pleasure and honor. And also thank you to Dr. Saab for letting me speak first. I need to run to another meeting right after this. So I'm privileged to be here, honestly speaking. So I'll just get straight to the topic because there's a lot to say. I'll try to squeeze it in these 5-6 minutes so that others have their rightful time as well. So the effect of emerging technologies. And like many of you, I've lived through this, technological phases in different companies, including HP, where I was in the IT services sector at least for a decade. So it's a sort of topic that stays very close to my heart. So as I'll start by the technology that we have. We say fintech is the broader umbrella that describes financial technology used in the financial sector. Then we've got blockchain, and I'll tell you the definition that IBM has for it. Blockchain is defined as something that enables real-time, multi-party processing, tracking, and management. And it also enables faster and more accurate reporting with an automated compliance. So that's coming into the banks here already. In terms of intelligent automation, it's a pyramid. Artificial intelligence is part of it. At the base of that pyramid sits RPA. So yes, it gives me pride that I had led the project of RPA, but it's foundation still. On top of that sits artificial intelligence, then machine learning, and then we've got deep learning as well. We should embrace this fact that finance is still a straggler. We are lagging behind in departments. Wherever you would have worked, you would have noticed as well. Finance, HR are the ones who would resist change and who are lagging behind in terms of technology and advancement. So I think it's still not too late to get there, but we would need to do a lot of catch-up work. CFOs' roles have changed, as you would have seen. CFO's lifespan have changed, roles in terms of technology. A CFO can succeed in their roles only when they are, when they have the right experience to lead the technological sort of aspects of the organization as well. The only reason I was put in from Deloitte Canada into this role was because of my inclination towards technology and how I led some projects. And that's why the role title as well, Director Strategic Projects. So I will actually dive straight into this topic and tell you exactly how this has helped me in my life and career. And my next journey would be the ERP implementation, and will be the first one to lead this journey in the higher education sector as well. So in terms of RPA, the first and the foremost, and even other technologies as well, like an ERP implementation, you need to make sure that your processes are documented. You are well collaborated with other departments as well. You would have noticed in many organizations, finance works in a silo. It has lots of detriments, and one of them is actually that you're not linked to the strategy of the organization. You don't know the pace of different parts of the organization and how you can lead them. So for RPA, what I did was we had a sort of process observation session where we saw what the process was. And it was no surprise that process wasn't documented properly. So Deloitte was the consultant that we've had in our project. We went back, we documented the processes, and we actually automated 3 of the most complex processes in the higher education sector here, which was accounts receivable, which was the students' refunds and all. Within a span of 4 months, we implemented 3 bots in the processes, one of them being student refunds. Now I was doing the sort of recap and lessons learned scenario with the management, and we realized we've actually got more benefits than we had imagined. So we had factored or forecasted and presented to the management that we'll get a 3 headcount sort of saving. We now have 4.5 to 5 headcounts of saving, and we are spending 40% of the time that we were doing. And it's just RPA. It's not even artificial intelligence. So within the span of 4 months, we got this, and we have a payback of 1.5 years only. That's it. We had a payback of 2.5 years forecasted. So within this, let's say, basic automation, we achieved all these targets. Now we are in the process of building a center of excellence within the college where we will automate using different tools, how we can, you can say, automate their iterative processes that are so manual and laborious. I think I will urge everyone to look into this in terms of how technology is impacting us. We plan a lot, we study a lot, but we don't execute at times. So that's where I think we also lag behind. And again, then getting a buy-in from the management is very important in all these, let's say, projects. For me, it was easy in the sense that finance wanted to hire more people to do more work. But I gave it as a presentation that if you stop this, you'll not have redundancies. So I held, or let's say, requested the management to hold those in additional hirings. We did the project, we rolled it out, and now we didn't add any single body in the finance. Registrar's office, other departments have at least 40% more hiring because we are in the growth trajectory. We have grown by at least 40 to 50% in the last 2-3 years. We are a $500 million crown corporation here. So given that, I would just like to address that part. Yes, financial technology may not take your job, but it will make a lot of jobs redundant. It will change the shape of how we do things. In future, we will have to determine whether we want to keep doing those laborious, outdated tasks, or we want to give a quality sort of input to the management in terms of strategy, analytics, and all that. I think Ms. Kotwal also presented the Power BI, Power Tools, and other things. These are the building blocks of our future technologies, and then we'll have to go to machine learning and other areas as well. I think I am about time. Thank you very much for having me here, and it's a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Asad. It was wonderful to hear from you, and I think that it was very timely that we are talking about this topic. So let's move on to our next speaker, who is Humayun Habib. He's based in Malaysia. He works as a finance leader at Global Edible Oils and Solution business, Cargill, Malaysia and Australia. Humayun serves on the Executive Committee of Malaysia-Pakistan Business Council and Southeast Asia Coordination Committee of CA Pakistan towards Business and Strategic Development. Humayun is a senior finance leader and business partner with diverse leadership experience across manufacturing and exports industry. Humayun has keen professional interest and leadership experience in strategy and execution, supply chain efficiencies, digital evolution, facilitating business revenue growth, cost optimization, and driving operational efficiencies. So without further ado, it's over to you, Humayun.
Humayun is one of the top Pakistani professional, I think, in Southeast Asia. To you, Humayun.
Sorry, Humayun, you are not audible. No, we cannot hear you. Although like you are unmute, but we cannot hear you. No, I'm not, no voice. Yeah, there is some voice from your side, I think. Can you please speak again?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, but there is so much interruption. Can you say something else again?
All right. So,
okay,
assuming,
perfect.
I mean, you hear me now.
No, we can hear you.
Awesome. Thank you. Lovely. Thank you. So thank you so much for the initiative, and thank you so much for having me here. I mean, I'm humbled with the introduction, and you know, it's a fantastic engagement and initiative. I'm sharing my screen, and I'm assuming you can see my slide. So I'll talk through that a little bit. On the left side of the screen of the slide that you see it's more of a time stamping of how the industry has evolved over the last 3 decades, mostly. And the last phase is Industry 4.0, where we are today, and things are still in some ways, in a lot of ways, in transformative stage. I'll cover 2 aspects out of this. On the right side, if you see, there are a lot of pieces which are coming together, enabling Industrial Revolution 4.0. But if you sort of think from how it has evolved over the last 3 years, one common theme stands out is that it has to do with the efficiency. It has to do with the optimization. It has to do with the cost with the dollar sign. I mean, the dollar sign, all of us love that. So I'll probably zoom into two pieces. I think some of the earlier speakers like Koshid, like Moniza, and I think Asad also touched upon some of the aspects of that in big data and in analytics. And another piece that I want to talk about is smart manufacturing side of it. So let's think about a factory, the way we are operating most of the factories right now, it's manual or semi-automatic. We have bits and pieces of the robotics in the processing plant, and there's a lot of data that is generated. There's a lot of automation that is happening in there, but I think one common thing is that it requires a lot of
Humayun, your video is not visible and your voice is not also coming. I think that he got disconnected. He's connecting again. Okay, good.
Can you hear me? I think
Yes.
Yeah.
We can
all
hear
right.
you.
So, all right. So, yes, I was just talking about the smart factory concept that is so much
Can you
relevant to
reshare your screen if you want to? Because we can only hear you.
So
yeah, sure, no problem.
Okay, so I was just talking about the smart factory concept whereby we are transitioning into a phase whereby we can probably have customized product. We're generating a lot of data, but how we're going to use those data to actually even remotely or virtually operate those factories, and how the data and the equipment in the plant, it communicates with the factory manager. So I think that piece requires, it's still in evolution. That piece requires a lot of capital investment also, and it requires a different kind of a talent skill set as well. And that brings me to my second point around the big data and analytics side of it. I think Kushi talked a little bit about that one. At the end of the day, I think all of it sort of distills into a fact that how do we play with the data, how do we sort of simplify the data, and how do we use the data to enable and make do the decision making around that. I mean, and the data, when I say it's, we have to be very, very mindful that there are two pieces of data. One is the financial data. As finance professionals, we love everything with the dollar sign, and I think it matters a lot. I mean, how it translates into business performance. But to get to that business performance piece, it is super critical that how does the non-financial data works with the financial data side of it. So there are a lot of efficiencies that you generate from the operational and non-financial data side of it, and then ultimately translates into the P&L. And more importantly, so the big execution arm of the organization that usually operates in the non-financial data. So how you enable, how you translate, how you simplify that for your colleagues in, for example, in supply chain, for example, in the operations, for example, in the quality control departments. So putting that picture together and translating that into the financial business performance, I think that's where the real magic happens. And if I link it with the Pakistan scenario, I mean, it's a huge market, 220 million people. It's a huge consumer market. Pakistan has been focusing a lot of efforts into sort of exports of human capital as well as exports of the processed products. But I think one real thing we need to be very deliberate about from the Pakistan standpoint would be, or from any, for that matter, for any market, how are we upscaling the human capital that will be operating, or that will be capable of handling a smart factory and making some really, really smart decisions and generating some efficiencies. So it's more about, I would say that driving the agenda of upskilling, accepting the change that is already here, and how to make it sort of work for the wider benefit of in the economic scenario, in the market scenario as such. I think that's probably in the given time a few points I wanted to nail down. But I'm happy to take any questions or any comments from the team here joining in the webinar. So I'll just pause here and I'll pass the floor back to Dr. Farooq and Asif.
Thank you so much, Humayun. Really appreciate it, and I think that we will come back to your slides as well, inshallah, in the Q&A if time allows us. So let's move on to our next speaker. This is Ashfaq Batavia. He's a fellow chartered accountant of ICAP, certified public accountant Australia, and associate member of ICMA, member of board of director Hallmark Company Limited Pakistan, member board of director Sana Industry Pakistan, and executive director Al Luhaid and Al Yahya Chartered Accountants KSA. He has a strong managerial background with senior level local international experience and cross-sector exposure, good strategic appreciation and vision, able to build and implement audit plans with a proven track record, explicitly supporting business needs. So I think that with that, we would like to basically hear from Ashfaq. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Farooq, for giving a good background. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. It's my pleasure to share my views and knowledge on that platform. Thank you, Asif, for inviting me. My colleagues, speakers explained regarding the technology. Yes, they have explained very detailed and very technical side. And as they said, due to the technology, the job related is coming. Maybe there is some fairness is coming from our profession and something. Maybe technology can be replaced by the skill. Yes, it can be replaced by our skill, but it cannot be replaced by our brain. ये 500 ग्राम का जो कंप्यूटर हमें मिला हुआ है, वो कोई रिप्लेस नहीं कर सकता. कोई टेक्नोलॉजी cannot be replaced at all. So we believe and we trust on that technology. It cannot be replaced by anyone, any technology in future. So that's. But yes, we need to upgrade ourselves. We need to change our skill set, and we learn more and more. What's the advancement is coming. Okay. Now I'm talking about Saudi Arabia, how they are changing their transformation. It is a learning lesson for any country, because you know the 2030 vision given by the MBS, Mohammed bin Salman. And when I came in 2007 in Saudi Arabia, I had my Akama 15-page, and it took renewal process couple of weeks. Very complicated process. Now in 2022, I have a digital Akama, and it less than 5 minutes is going to be renewed. So that's the transformation is taken place, because the transformation is taken place due to the vision, mission, and their will. Not only the top level, also their the other department. The Vision 2030, they change e-commerce, they change the e-government, they change the e-economic. In the e-commerce, they have already changed, and they spent $500 billion US and changed 285 organization department. Nowadays, if you go in a Saudi Arabia, you can find every solution on the online basis. You know how it was difficult in the previous year. It's very difficult to do the business. Now it's a very friendly environment in the business. You want to open your company, you can open, I think, in a days, due to your online, no problem. And then again, they come in the e-commerce. Nowadays, 55% of their transaction on e-banking system. And in the all retail business, at least nowadays 55%, and they have a targeted to at least 70% e-commerce transaction by 2030. And e-economics, the best example, there is all the e-invoicing phase 1 is completed now, and all businesses need to be generate their invoices onto the system. And the phase 2, they are integrated their system to their government bodies. They go toward a very good step toward the e-economics. If this kind of wills are there, yes, and if we try to implement this will in Pakistan, our country also come in a technological. I know that we have our own limitations, and yes, Saudi Arabia totally different. They have their own benefit, but yes, you can see that MBS vision change, transform their society totally. If you take last 5 years, 10 years back, they are totally different now. They use a technology, every walk in life technology is there. And there's a lot of opportunity in Saudi Arabia for the IT consultant, business transformation consultant, because still the SMEs of 70% of the SMEs company, they have their manual system. Their administrative issues are there, legal issues are there. So they come and they use the data analytical technique as the cyber security. There's a lot of ground because SAMA now already issued the directive of the cyber security. All banks need to be compliant with the cyber security. Fintech regulation is already coming. So I think there's a lot of opportunity. Business of dhande ki baat hai. And then you have a lot of opportunity for, as a consultant, we can do a lot of business and a lot of good contribution and give a better solution to these companies. And as experts, we can contribute a lot. Regarding this technology aspect, I think they already explained in a very detail for data analytical techniques, cloud computing, and now they are working, the one of the big cities, the NEOM. It's artificial intelligence. It's a big example of artificial intelligence, and there are a lot of technologies advancement and coming in that city. They provided a lot of opportunities. So I think experts have a lot of potential we can contribute through our skill, because we need to change our skill is more important. And we need to take a more benefit from this new techniques, and we give a better solution to the companies, to the economics, and we obviously we can in a positive contribution toward this. Thank you.
Jazakallah khairan. Thank you so much, Mr. Ashfaq. Then let's move on to our next speaker, who is Shoaib Memon. He has held successive senior positions with the banking industry and is currently the COO and CFO at Europe Arab Bank, UK, part of the Arab Bank Group, one of the oldest and largest banking group across the Middle East and the North African region. He's a member of the board of directors of the UK Bank, vice chair of EAB, EAB's banking subsidiary in France, and director of several investment entities associated with the group. He is committed to various voluntary causes. He serves as a non-executive member of the Finance and Audit Committee, BART's charity, one of the largest NHS charities, as patron of the British Pakistan Foundation, chair of the UK chapter of Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan, and non-executive director of an education and health services organization in Pakistan. He qualified as a member of ICAEW in 2009. Prior to that, he qualified as a chartered accountant from the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan in 2004, and also gained membership of ACCA in 2003. He trained with KPMG in Pakistan and relocated to the UK in late 2004, initially working with EY London and then joining EAB in 2007. He has also attended executive education courses at the Harvard Business School and Said Business School, University of Oxford. So Shoaib, over to you. Thank you so much for joining. Let's hear him out.
Yes, want to add about Shoaib. Shoaib is now currently the council member, elected council member for ICAEW also. And Shoaib is one of the top 100 Pakistani in UK. To you, Shoaib.
Thank you, Asif Saab. Thank you, Dr. Farooq. Thank you, Dr. Anis. I hope you can hear me. Apologies, I've got a bit of a cold. I couldn't say no
your
to
voice
Asif
is
Saab.
loud and clear.
All right, excellent. It's not as cold as what we saw in Canada, but it's still cold in London compared to what we see in December. It was -7 yesterday, so it was fairly cold. I think there's been a good discussion, and it's a privilege to see a number of familiar faces on the call. Some of them I worked with in the past, some of them I know very well, so it's an honor to be here. And thank you for the invitation. Now, I'll hopefully try to sort of cover what I want to say within the next 5 to 6 minutes. But let's take a step back. I mean, it's been a journey in terms of technology, and let's go back maybe 10, 15 years. So at that time, as an individual, we had a phone. We had a day planner or a calendar we used to carry around, or a diary we used to carry alongside ourselves. We maybe had an iPod to listen to music. We had a camera, and we had a atlas. I mean, that was quite common in the UK, which had all the maps basically of the roads in the UK. And now all of this is in one gadget, which is your mobile phone. So a lot has transformed over the last 10, 15 years. Now, I'd focus on the banking sector because that's where I belong, and I think I can relate to some of the points made already, and also mentioned by Riaz Saab from SPP as well. So let's start with some stats. 60% of the banks globally have either closed or shortened their opening hours of branches since COVID-19. Also because of implementing new digital features. More than 50% of global consumers interact with their bank through their mobile app or website once a week. 75% of all in-store payments across Europe are either contactless or via mobile wallet. And there's a more than 300% increase in cyber attacks on banks since COVID-19. So what does it tell us? Well, there are certainly opportunities there, but there are certainly threats as well. Now, I think let's look at the mega trends. Mega trends in terms of banking or financial services. I agree with Riaz Saab, what he mentioned in terms of the payments industry in particular. I think that's been at the forefront of the technological revolution. The other 5 or 6 mega trends I see right now is number one would be super apps. So these are applications which are beyond just providing banking services. They, in essence, provide you chat facility. They effectively become your lifestyle choices and so on. And China certainly has been taking a lead on this compared to some of the other regions in the world. And also, I think this is an opportunity for the big techs, as Riaz Saab mentioned, telecom operators who are also potentially seeing a market over here. Because remember, they have got an excellent distribution platform, either the telecom operators or the big techs in terms of the Facebooks, Googles, and so on. So the banks are trying to compete with that. And they are trying to come up with these super apps, which effectively can become retail marketplaces as well, can become social interactive apps as well, and so on. Now, linked to this is the concept of digital concierge. Your experience with a digital application is not as personalized that you would probably have with a local branch. You would know the branch manager, you would know your relationship manager. A branch of a bank was seen as a sort of a social place where people used to have regular contacts, etc., and so on. So that is all gone. So now the expectation now with the evolution of technology is that these digital apps personalize these services in line with your requirements. So it's not just a normal digital app. It personalizes your experience based on your likes and dislikes and so on. And this is where all the elements we talked about earlier in terms of data analytics, artificial intelligence, in terms of chatbots, in terms of bringing in the concept of machine learning comes into play. That how can you make this experience relevant to those individuals? The third point I would say is the platforms being used as intermediaries for fundraising. So we have platforms which are for lending, for capital raising outside the normal financial institutions, and this is becoming very common. This can be seen as sort of the decentralized finance concept coming into play as well. The fourth point I would say, a central bank digital currency is not far off. It's a matter of time. It would come in. Fifth one, I would say cybersecurity. Again, I think a couple of our colleagues mentioned this. I think this is an area where there should be a lot of focus. Already is. Banks are spending billions of dollars in this. And then lastly, a common buzzword is ESG, particularly the focus on climate change. I mean, just a couple of days back, I think HSBC has announced that it will not be financing any oil and gas related projects anymore. So these 5, 6 are the mega trends. And I think it's important for us as professionals and for Pakistanis anywhere to relate to these mega trends if they want to work in the banking sector, in the financial services sector. The opportunities are there. It's just that, the level of commitment towards some of these trends has to be there, and the ecosystem has to be there to develop that talent. So I'd stop over here and happy to take any questions later on.
Thank you so much, Shoaib. I think that we are going to have some good discussions in the Q&A as well. So just move on to our last speaker, but definitely not the least, who is Arshad Ghadet. He is a seasoned assurance, indirect tax, VAT, and business advisory consultant, specializing in financial accounting, external and internal audits, VAT, and business planning. At ATH Gadlang, he managed its global operations, which include, among other aspirations, expanding the brand in different jurisdictions, broadening our service lines, partnering with other service providers to strengthen their delivery capabilities, putting their tech advisory practice on a growth track, increasing their footprint in an international markets, rolling out franchise model, and building relationship with government entities. Also currently focusing on expanding operations in Bahrain and in Saudi Arabia. Before at BDO Bahrain, Oman, Qatar, he led a team of 50 plus qualified chartered accountants, IT experts, tax advisors, and financial analysts serving businesses in Bahrain, Oman, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia. Arshad is a fellow chartered accountant at ICAP. He is also a member of ACCA, holding positions of committee members of Bahrain chapter of ICAP members. So with that, I would like to welcome Arshad, and let's listen from Arshad.
Thank you very much, everyone. And it's a pleasure again, as everybody said. It's an honor to be speaking at this event where such fantastic pool of talent is discussing such an important agenda. I'll give a different spin to the whole subject, really, from a professional services standpoint.
Arshad bhai, we cannot see you. If possible, you can on the video.
Yeah, I think you got scared because I'm actually in my casuals.
You're so handsome guy. We must see you, when you're talking.
Thank you very much, brother. No, so I'll bring the different spin to the whole idea of how the technology is impacting the way as a professional service providers we are operating. So if I break it down in two subsets, that will you will be able to sort of relate how that can impact the way you are actually organizing yourselves while being seen as consultants to the market. So what we have done, we've also always taken a digital first approach in creating a hello, Asif, you're saying something?
No, it's all right, Arshad, you are loud and clear.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Okay, great. So what we have done, so for our own business, end to end, we have sort of cleared it out and start chalking out a full-blown plan from every single aspect of our business, from customer acquisition through to the delivery. There's a multiple facets of the overall mechanism of how the business is run. We have sort of introduced different type of technologies. So I'll sort of, for example, for acquisition of customers, getting through to a proper CRM in place, digitally integrating that with marketing tools. There are so many technologies, softwares available, which can directly link with your accounting softwares to the CRM portals, directly engaging with your marketing tools. And that has benefited us a significant amount in terms of our reach and extent of our brand image in the market. And you may have seen sort of ATH Gadlang's AG logos sort of popping up every now and then on multiple social medias. And thanks to that, the technology which helps us to do so. In that sort of overall aspiration, what we have also done, we've created another e-commerce platform, which is an extended version, and it's a fantastic tool for freelancers and professionals at a wider level, for both for freelancers as well as B2B, a platform which will work like Upwork or Fiverr, and also LinkedIn. It's called prowireonline.com. That becomes a marketplace and a network place for organizations to start buying and selling services. So that's an acquisition part of it. When it comes to execution, also, as others have said in past, data analytics, Power BI, and other tools are playing a significant role. We are working on multiple different reporting tools and data repository tools, which helps us significantly in terms of doing our services delivery much faster. Also, external factors, we always take into account how we are seen by our consumers eventually. So we have started sort of developing a tool called, which will eventually be connecting us with the market. So it's a client portal. So every single thing which you will be dealing with AG going forward will have its own app. For example, you will be able to data share your voice, your emails, your overall interaction, your project management, everything would be a client portal on one-by-one basis. And then I will be able to see all 700 to 800 clients we have in one shot as a management. So that is a fantastic tool. You can bring the efficiency, then you can see where the holes are, where you can try to fix, creating our own intranet, HR portal, and a few other things. So that's the whole end-to-end delivery mechanism, acquisition to a delivery. But at the same time, that also helped us, technology has helped us thinking about broader aspects of getting to our clients. The collaboration, as you mentioned also earlier, and Ashfaq was also mentioning about there's a lot of opportunity for advisors. So we've created our technology advisory team, whereby we look at the e-commerce enablement, bringing in RPS to the organization, ML, AI, digital transformation. And the fantastic thing is we do not need to be the proprietor of those softwares. We are partnering up with multiple organizations which are able to making us able to deliver those services to the other organizations. So with that said, I just wanted to give a different spin to the whole idea of technology to give you a flavor that given that we have digital first approach, that has helped us significantly in terms of growing our practice from in 2016 to 2 people to now 130 people when operating in 5 different countries. That said, I hope I've added some value to the conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Arshad, for your insights. They are very, very, very deep. We welcome again Ashfaq Tola Sahab. Initially, he was not here, but we are glad that we have got him back. So Mr. Ashfaq Tola, who by academia is a fellow chartered accountant, is the founder and president of Tola Associates. He is an accomplished professional who has experience worth over 25 years in diversified areas such as financial and forensic auditing, management consultancy, tax advisory, and corporate structuring. Moreover, Mr. Tola holds a keen interest in matters pertaining to the economy of Pakistan, which is portrayed by his contribution towards policymaking reflected through various memberships of technocratic governmental bodies, such as the Tax Reforms Implementation Committee and the Privatization Commission of Pakistan. Mr. Tola is currently the chairman of Reforms and Resources Mobilization Commission, Ministry of Finance, and president of ICAP. So with that, I think that we would like to hear from you, Mr. Ashfaq.
Ashfaq bhai, the king is back. Where is he? Just wait, I'll call him.
Mr. Tola Sahab, okay.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Ashfaq bhai, loud and clear.
Yes,
okay.
We can hear you.
So thank you very much, Asif, for inviting me. Thank you, Kaisar Saab. And thank you, Farooq Habib, for inviting me and giving such a nice introduction. We all know that technology is seeping in very rapidly in our profession. And I think most of the time when we look into it, the technology is the name of the game. At ICAP,
can you on the camera also?
Yes, I am on the camera.
The camera is not on, Ashfaq bhai.
My camera is on. If I can look at me.
Ashfaq bhai, yeah, we want to see you.
I have already unmuted, sir.
No, can you please turn on your video as well? So your audio is loud and clear.
No, video. Can you see me now?
No.
I think there is some technological glitch, which is the bleeding edge of the technology.
Can you check if you have a manual shutter for
so
your camera?
I'm talking from my phone directly. So I think there might be some issue. If you want, I can reconnect myself.
Never mind. No problem. Please
continue. Let it continue. We know your good goodness.
Thank you, Kaisar Saab. Thank you. So at ICAP, we have made a complete turnaround in the curriculum of IT. And for students and for members, we are arranging programs like anything. And thanks to my chairman of Digital Accounting and Assurance Board, previously it was being chaired by Najam, then Rana Osman, and now a very dashing chairperson, Khurshid Kotwal. So day in, day out, we are introducing new program for our members and for our students. Recently, we have initiated a very good program for the students of SAP. And now, mashallah, more than 3,000 students will be educated freely, which is around a job of almost 200 million rupees. We are getting them trained very freely. DAB is also organizing data analytics program. In Pakistan, obviously, financial inclusion is name of the game. And in the banking circle, obviously, we need to have financial inclusion. Currently, it is 25%, and the target for next 5 years is 45 to 55%. Nonetheless, in this Reforms and Resource Mobilization Commission, a very key agenda for FBR is the IT, a total revamping of IT system. We know through IT, we can generate resources, which is currently we are lacking. We are losing something like 20 to 30% of our revenue because of leakages, and that we can plug through IT. So IT will be the key proposition as far as we are concerned. And I know we need help from outside world. Obviously, my professionals will definitely help me out. We are forming teams, we are forming subgroups, and definitely one of the main issue and main group will be the formation of a group, which will guide us in the IT. Hopefully, the system of Pakistan taxation, as far as the PRAL is concerned, it is almost redundant. Either we need to jack it up or we need to revamp the whole system and outsource it. So these are quite a few possibilities which the government of Pakistan wanted to initiate. And obviously, they have selected me. They have a faith in me. With my background and as a student of accounting and tax, I'll do my level best to promote the IT and technological base. As far as we are concerned, Pakistan is not that far in this sphere of activity. Nonetheless, at ICAP, we have initiated quite a few good programs like SAP is online. We are go live with the SAP now. ICAP is completely on SAP. And we are the first professional institute. Thanks to Khalilullah Sheikh, he has initiated this idea. And now after a period of 2 years, we are live. Khurshid, as far as I am concerned, is doing a wonderful job. And she is really, second to none. So with these words, I'm grateful to all of you for promoting ICAP, for promoting us. Thank you very much, Asif. I have to attend my father and I'm at his place, and that's why I'm talking directly from my phone. Thank you very much, Kaisar Saab, for inviting me, Dr. Farooq Habib, and all friends which I can't see right at this juncture. I just heard Arshad, very dynamic professional. So thank you very much, Riaz Bhai. Riaz Chunara is also here, if I'm not wrong. Riaz is doing a wonderful job. And Shoaib Mehman, congratulations on your election. Thank you very much, Pakistan Zindabad.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ashfaq, for the wrap up. I think Dr. Kaisar is saying something. Sir, you are unmute.
1 minute. Total sir, my heartiest congratulations. It's a very important position given to ICAP for looking for the resource. And I think this is a turning point. And you rightly identified that the technology will boost further income. I think this is an opportunity, and with a timeline you should work so that the Pakistan which want to expand all the tax collection and the resources can be plugged in. And with your own experience, and you can see how Asif has brought everyone, we can form a team and work, and not to that extent go paperless also. Like see how United Arab Emirates has done a paperless work. And as you rightly said, to revamp them. We are there, Pakistan Business Professional Council, there to support. I don't know, I didn't listen how the minister is still, Mr. Aminul Haq is there, because he said half of the nation will have the telephone, smartphone, which is again a turning point for Pakistan. Thank you, Tola sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kaisar. We have two questions, so very quickly, I would like to basically ask these two questions, and then we will close and wrap it up. So the first question is directed towards Mr. Arshad Gadit. That is there any good FP&A platform or software where you enter the inputs and get the financial results in tailored reports, helping the startups and venture capitalists? So this question is about that is there any software for startups and VCs for FP&A platform or any other thing to get the financial results and tailor?
There are multiple softwares which are out there. There are tools which are for SMEs. There's so much coming out. Multiple tools. I think whoever is interested, I will be able to sort of correlate, connect you with the right kind of platforms also, depending on your requirements. But yeah, the answer is there's so much coming out that you struggle to find the right kind of platform for yourself. But whatever you choose, try to sort of choose something which will eventually be scalable for yourself. I'm more than happy. I will just write down my number here. So if you can reach me out, I'll be able to sort of connect you with the right people as well.
Okay, perfect, Arshad. That would really help. And then we have the last question from Zahid Mahmood. Is there any training available for RPA in order to integrate RPA with machine learning and AI to automate the complex and strategic transactions? So I think that whoever would like to pick up this question, they are most welcome from the speakers.
I think Farooq, you can answer the question.
No, I think Humayun or I think Arshad, if you can go ahead, please, again with this question. This is about RPA in order to integrate RPA with machine learning and AI.
I don't have any sort of training available as such, but I do. So as I said, we tend to sort of partner up with organizations. There is a fantastic organization, a company called which we partner up with, Mercurial Minds. They are fantastic doing RPAs for companies in telecom industry, in financial services industry. I've worked with on a few projects. If ICAP want to collaborate and do some training programs for the members, that can be assisted, and I would be able to sort of connect the dots. But there's so much out there available on RPAs also, and that might perhaps be a very good idea, actually, whoever has raised that point, that can, because for larger organization, RPA is going to become a fundamental point where the efficiencies can be sought. But yeah, I can sort of connect the dots, and I've got a very decent connection with PASHA, Pakistan Association of Software Houses. The gentlemen there who are running the show are very close friends. There might be an opportunity for us to collaborate and learn more from what's happening in that particular part of the industry. And I know Alif Technologies is something which you guys do multiple other things in similar areas, so you would be able to also educate us better.
Okay, very quickly regarding this, Mr. Asif Zaman, are you planning for any training program in Dubai, UAE through Alif Technologies, which is similar to what Madam Khurshid has mentioned?
We are planning to do some, artificial intelligence or other training programs, and it will be web-based, and so people can be joining from any part of the world.
Okay, perfect. And the last question is from Farhan Sheikh, that is DA and SAP training being offered by ICAP only for students, or is it available for members as well? If yes, how the members can enroll
for
there?
Members also, whoever would like to do, they can do it then.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. And Asif, over to you. Please give us some closing remarks over here.
Sure. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining this event, especially Dr. Kaisar, and for helping us out to organize this webinar. Second, Dr. Saab, you're saying something?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
I said thank you very much for helping us to organize this event. on behalf of
Always
Pakistan
welcome. We will do
and
next one for human resources.
Inshallah.
Human resources on technology.
Inshallah, inshallah.
We
And
are
I
for
thanks all the
topic two.
speakers and the participants because it's too late. I think match has started and everybody's just interested to go and watch the match. And I thanks again everyone, our speakers all around the world, Humayun Habib, Shoaib Mehman, Arshad Gadet, Ashfaq Batavia, and all the others, Asad Abbas, and our guest Muniza and Ashfaq Tola, and especially thanks to our ambassadors. Oh, thank you very much, and stay tuned for our next event, inshallah.